Today's daf is daf Memvav. We are going to begin Memvav by the Mishnah. So the Mishnah, Ha'imr Isha. If a person tells a woman, Hiskat sheli b'tmarazai, become mikudeshes to me with this date. And then he says, Hiskat sheli li bazai. And then he says that be mikudeshes to me with that one. Now, im yesh bachas man shava pruto. If one of the dates is worth at least a shava pruta, so then mikudeshes, she's mikudeshes. But if not, ain't mikudeshes. Since he mentioned the Kidushin in connection with each date, so one of them has to be worth a pruta. Bazai, 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 ubazai, ubazai. If he said, be mikudeshes to me with this one, and with this one, and with this one, then shava pruta b'chulan, if all of them together are shava pruta, Mikudeshes, she's Mikudeshes. But if not, any Mikudeshes, she's not. Now, if he gave her dates with the intention of being Mikadesh with her, and she was eating them one by one as she received them, so the halacha is, any Mikudeshes, she's not Mikudeshes, unless one of them is worth a Shava Pruta. Now, the Gemara says, Man, Tana, Iskachi, Iskachi. Who's the Tana who taught that it is only if he says, be mikudeshes, in connection with each date, that each act as a Kidushin is considered distinct. So Rabbi says, Rabbi Shimon, this is Rabbi Shimon. This is Rabbi Shimon who said, in regards to the halachas of a shvua, that he's never hired to bring more than one carbon unless he will state an expression of an oath to each and every word. Mishnah taught, bazai, ubazai, ubazai, mishbukol shava pruta. If one said with this one, with this one, and with this one, she is mikudeshes, even if all of them together are worth a shava pruta. Now, the Mishnah wants to know, to which case is the case of the woman eating the dates the one referring to? If it's referring to the first case of the Mishnah when he is mikadesh separately with each date, so my area why would the Mishnah specifically state that she ate them? I feel the minchas anami. Even if she placed them down without eating them, the same halacha would apply. Because he said, be mikudeshes to me with this date, so each date must be worth one pruta. Allah safer. Rather, it must be referring to the later case. When he said that he's being mikadesh her with all the dates, such a case, if she ate them one by one, she's mikudeshes only if one of them is worth one pruta. Now, and even if she's mikudesh, even if the first day is worth one pruta. Now, so the Gemara says, but until he has given her all the dates for the Kidushin, each individual date is considered alone. Because if he's going to retract his Kidushin before giving her all the dates, she would have to return them to him. I won't have Mekadesh a woman by giving her alone. By the time he finishes giving her the dates, the first one has already been eaten. So it's not he's not able to be made for the Kidushin to take effect. Rabbi Yechon says there's a table, there's a meat, and there's a knife, and we have nothing to eat. In other words, everything in the Mishnah is explicit, yet we can't explain what's going on. Rabbi Shmuel will say rather the case of the woman eating the dates is referring to the first case of the Mishnah, where one was mekadesh to the woman of each date separately. It's speaking, it's not necessary. The Mishnah, it's using the halacha that it did not need to state this and should understood as follows. It's not necessary to state the halacha in the case of a woman who placed the dates down. If one of them is worth one pruta, she's mekudesh. If not, she's not mekudesh. But we're eating hoyel mekarva aliyasa. Case of eating, you would think since her benefit is immediate, so you would think that Ema Gomer Makin Afsha. You would say that she has decided to transfer herself to him by means of that date. Although it's worth less than a pruta. Mashal therefore teaches us that she's not a kodesh. Rami Amrav says no. Actually, the case is referring to the case of the Sefer. Now, so if it's referring to the last case where he's mekadesh by giving all the dates, so what does it mean the last one of them is worth a shavar pruta? Actually, b'achrin is shavar pruta, unless the last one of them is a shavar pruta. But if one of the other dates is worth one pruta, she's not mekudeshes. Says they're considered alone halva until all the dates have been given. You can conclude from the statement of Rabbi Ami 3 things. Number 1, if one is mekadesh a woman with a loan, she's not mekudeshes. She's not mekudeshes with the date that has already been given. You can learn from here, in the case of one who is mekadesh a woman by giving a loan and giving her own pruta, her mind is focused on the pruta, although the chiyuv is far larger, and she will be mekudeshes. In the latter case, although the value of the date she ate was more than the value of the last date, which was merely worth 1 pruta, she's nevertheless mekudeshes. And the third thing is mois malma, money that was given for mekudeshes, for Kidushin that did not take effect, chayzim is returned. It's not viewed as a gift, but as a loan that must be repaid. And this is evident from the fact that all the dates, except the last one, is considered a halva. If one was Mekadesh's sister by giving her money, Rab says, mois chayzim. The money of the Kidushin has to be returned, as Kidushin doesn't take effect by a sibling. Shmuel says, mois matana. No, the money is considered as a gift. Now, Rav Omer Mois Chayzer Rav says that the money goes out because everybody knows that the woman can be Mekadesh's sister, and decide to give her the money to her in the sake of a deposit. So the Gemara now asks, and let him say explicitly that to her, that he's giving to her money for the sake of a deposit. So the Gemara says, he thought she would not accept it from him. Shmuel says, the money is considered as a gift. Person knows that he can be Mekadesh's sister, and therefore he decided to give it to her as a gift. Let him explicitly say that he's giving it to her as a gift. Savar, the Gemara answers that he thought it would be embarrassing to her, and she refused to accept the money, and therefore attempting to give it to her by an alternative method. Also, Ravina raised a shadow from the Mishnah. Case of one who separates his challah, the portion of dough that must be given to a kohen. So from flour, any challah, before it has been made into dough, the portion that you separate is not challah. Since the Torah says the challah has to be separated only from dough. But goes biyad kohen, if the kohen fails to return the flour, it's considered stolen property in the kohen's possession. The Gemara would have been asked, why goes biyad kohen, and why is it stolen property in the kohen's possession? Let us say a person knows that one cannot separate challah from flour, and he gave the flour for the sake of the gift. And for the one shani also, it's different. The nafik chorba mine, the kohen must return the flour because otherwise it will make a chorba. Zimni the ishtayv. The kohen pavis michamish rivoyim kemach. Sometimes the kohen has his own less than 5/4 of a kav of flour. He has less than the amount necessary to separate the challah, and he has only this flour, which gives in total of more than 5/4 of a cow, the amount necessitating the separate of the challah. He will need all the flour together and will think that his dough has been ready made. And he will then come, so he will think his dough has been made ready. Since he did not have enough of his flour to require the separation from the challah, and he added flour that had been separated for challah, and he will then come to eat. He'll come to eat tevel, as the flour you see was not actually challah. Therefore, the chacham required him to return the flour. Didn't you just say that a person knows that one cannot separate challah from flour? How can the kohen make such a mistake? So my answer is, he knows, but he doesn't know. He knows that he cannot separate challah from flour. But he does not know the savar. He thinks that what's the reason a person cannot separate challah from flour? Due to the labor of the kohen, to prevent the kohen from having to knead it himself. As far as the labor of the kohen goes, he thinks I have relinquished the rights to have the non-kohen knead it for me. We're asked a question based on the comparison to a similar case. To have it truma, but why must the kohen go to the effort to return the flour to its owner? Let the separated flour be considered truma. It should not be eaten by the kohen until he removes the challah from another place in order to make it ready to be eaten. Didn't we learn in the Mishnah? If one separates truma from produce grown in a pot with a hole, which is obligated in trumas midiraisa, from produce that is grown by a pot that doesn't have a hole, which is unobligated midiraisa, although the separating of the truma did not take effect, it's still considered to be truma. The techak shitza left truma ma'asav ha'kamacher, and be eaten until he removes may not be eaten until you remove it from somewhere else. Same halacha should apply in the case of the challah. My answer is, but today, with regard to things that are two separate containers, the kohen will listen. With regard to something that is in one container, he will not listen. You could say, kohen makes us actually the kohen will listen. So, and the concern is that the prior owner, the flour, will think that his dough has been made ready to eat, and he will come to eat it. But then you just say that a person knows the one may not separate the challah from flour. Or says he did at the same time, and he says that the kohen has accepted the task about himself. Let it be truma of the asri yitim, then he should separate truma again. Do it again. When my answer is says, we have already established that with regard to the things, in two separate containers, and he will listen, but with regard to something that is one container, one will not listen. And he's not going to listen to a ruling to separate truma a second time from a single container. But then we're going to mention truma is if a person separated a cucumber as truma to give as a kohen, and the cucumber was found to be so bitter that it was inedible, or he found a melon that was found to be spoiled. So truma, it's truma, and the asri yitrim, he has to separate it again. Answer is not there it's different, as it's full-fledged truma but minat teira. And even if it is not listed as separate truma again, he will not be able. Now, what's the halacha from which is that we learn that if it's full-fledged truma midiraisa? This is from the statement of Rabbi Loi. From where do we know that one who separates truma from poor quality produce for superior produce in order to fulfill the obligation of separating truma from produce that is truma? And you shall bear no sin by reason of it, seeing that you have set part for the best. Pasuk is saying to give the best part of truma, and one who gives a bad portion has committed a aveda. Nevertheless, as it says that the separation is considered truma. Now, if it were not kodesh, so why would he make a sin? Why would it be a sin? If one's actions are not affected, he's not sinned. From here we see that a person could separate it.